Over the past couple of years that I've been a reading coach at the secondary level in a high school, what I found is, first of all, teachers are doing a great job at what they're doing. They're content area experts, and I have a great deal of respect for them. One way to slowly introduce reading strategies to a teacher who is new at the whole concept of teaching reading strategies explicit within the curriculum that they happen to teach is to be willing to take baby steps. A word wall is a great way to introduce new vocabulary. Things can stem from that, like graphic organizers, great discussion, teamwork, all kinds of things that we can do to introduce vocabulary as a piece of the reading curriculum within the content areas. So a word wall is an excellent way to begin. Another thing that all teachers, regardless of the content area, can do to enhance their classrooms is to incorporate a classroom library within the framework of the classroom. Classroom libraries can be used to demonstrate all kinds of reading strategies regardless of the content area. So any teacher can develop a good classroom library just with a little bit of extra knowledge about books, genres, things that we look for inside of books, and how to read aloud and think aloud when teaching reading strategies explicitly. Teaching reading at the secondary level has some similarities and some differences from the elementary level. First of all, secondary teachers typically are content area specialists. Their areas of expertise lie in their content area, whereas in elementary school, many teachers have expertise in teaching reading. So introducing reading strategies at the secondary level, many teachers have some familiarity with it, but they're not used to being explicit with reading strategies as they are with their content area. It is often difficult for content area teachers to come up with how to use reading strategies on their own because, first of all, they've never been explicitly taught within the context of their content area. So many times if one just introduces a reading strategy within the concept of their content area, it's much easier for them to see the relationship. Typically, also, content area experts have so much knowledge, and it's so vast that to deconstruct that knowledge to an explicit level where you explain basic processes of the reading function, it becomes difficult for them to think that way. And one of the strategies we use at the secondary level is to teach teachers how to conduct think-alouds, where they break down the thoughts orally out loud that are typically taking place inside their heads in order for the students to engage in those same thought processes to make comprehension more of a visible entity and more attainable. I think that at the secondary level, by the time students get to high school, that they already know how to read. And indeed, many students do already know how to read. But there's nothing to stop them from enhancing their reading and enabling them to become better readers. Also, many students are excellent word callers at the secondary level. And what that means is when they read aloud, it sounds as if they're reading perfectly. They know how to pronounce the words. They stop at the end of sentences. But many times these students are not comprehending what they're reading. In other words, they're not bringing meaning to the text. They will finish reading a paragraph and it will sound as if they have perfectly read it, when indeed they have no understanding of what they've just read. So at the secondary level, there are many students who are reading below their grade level, and there are many students who are underachieving. So there's always room for growth in reading at the secondary level. Many times, content area teachers, secondary teachers, aren't aware of the difference between a reading skill and a reading strategy. And one of the reasons that it's so important for secondary teachers to understand the use of reading strategies within the content area is a student can learn one strategy, say in a science classroom, and that strategy transfers across the curriculum. So, for example, if I teach a student how to use a graphic organizer or how to infer meaning from text, that student doesn't just learn that in the history class. That student can infer science concepts. That student can make inferences in the English class with novels. So strategies move across the curriculum. Students can use them to enable them to comprehend better, read at a more productive level, and increase their fluency if they have these strategies or tools with which to take with them throughout their school day.